Guys, it's your favorite mystic, TheSirenSayz. Welcome back to my commentary channel, where I speak about movie, TV, and soon to come books, and the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that I like and dislike in between and all throughout all of these spaces. Now, let's get into the disclaimers. There are none. If you're mad, stay mad. If you're mad about what I liked about this, stay mad. If you're mad about what I disliked about this, stay mad. I know that these aerial videos get a lot of commotion. Honestly, at this point, I do not care. I liked this movie. Okay, there you go. Were things that weren't up to par? I don't know. Watch the video and find out. Now, let's get into The Little Mermaid. I saw it yesterday. I was going to make a video about it yesterday, but I came home and I was talking to my siblings about the movie and the industry and what I thought about different TV shows. And we just ended up talking for hours. Oh, I guess there is one disclaimer. If you agree or disagree, please put it down below. What were your thoughts on the movie if you got to see it yesterday? Also, this is spoilers, so this is a disclaimer. It's spoilered. I'm not going to give a non-spoiler review. I actually have a lot to talk about. I don't know how long this video will be. I will try to make it short, but who knows. Now, the synopsis of this movie is that the youngest of King Triton's daughters, Ariel, is a beautiful and spirited young mermaid with a thirst for adventure. Longing to find out more about the world beyond the sea, Ariel visits the surface and falls for the dashing Prince Eric. Following her heart, she makes a deal with the evil sea witch Ursula to experience life on land. Now, let me explain why I've made multiple videos about this. Because, on my Sims channel, there was the one video that reached 5,000, the first video to reach that, and it was my Ariel video. And it got a lot of dislikes, but it got a lot of likes. People agreed with me because I wasn't lying. But also, one of the reasons why I made a video about this, because I love sirens, I love mermaids, I love hearing and watching stuff like that. But also, as I was watching this movie, I was slowly realizing, which I didn't expect. I didn't cry. A lot of people cried. I didn't cry. Probably because I heard everybody cried, so I was ready for that. But I had a different feeling, a different depth of emotion. This movie reminded me why I liked this movie, and it even showed parallels between me and Ariel. So as we go through this movie, I might interject little pieces of who I am so that you can understand me better. It just is what it is. But overall, I will say that there's a lot of things that happened in this movie that, like, oh my god, I feel like this movie has been in me my entire life, and little things about it I've literally just been spouting. Like, I got a dog a long time ago. It was like 2 dogs, 2 little puppies on the side of the road, and I begged my dad to adopt them. And the healthiest dog, I wanted to call the dog Max. So I was like, okay, it's a girl, so Maxine. But Max, it needs to be Max. I did not remember that Prince Eric's dog was called Max. Now, there are lots of TV dogs that are called Max. But when I saw that this particular dog was called Max, it hit me. I feel like sometimes when we watch movies like this, they resonate with us and they stay with us. And as a kid, we get influenced by them. Which is why some of the more conservative parents have a lot to say about certain movies, touting certain tropes as normal. Because as a kid, whether it was this movie or a TV show with a dog named Max, something in me was like, oh, I finally have a dog. Let me name it Max. It's small, but this is just to show you guys that have a little bit more compassion for the overly protective parents that, just want to shield their children from almost everything. It's obviously coming from a place of, what if they accidentally pick up and poop out the wrong thing? But in a positive note, I think it was really cool that was a side of the movie, no matter how small it was, that was like, that stayed in me, Also, I thought the dog looked great. Okay, I thought the dog looked great, since we have to talk about how everything looked. Also, light girlies. Huh? light girlies, the girls who were complaining about the light, like every single one of them went to graphic design school. I'm not talking about my specific cousin who will be watching this video, because I didn't really hear her complain about it. She was lucky if you buck for this movie, like I was, so she didn't care. But the rest of y'all who didn't actually go to school for art and design and animation, what you gotta say now? I remember I saw somebody on Twitter say that maybe the lighting looks a certain way in the ad because you're supposed to go and watch the movie and the lighting is better than the movie. And the lighting was great. I barely noticed how quote-unquote bad the lighting was in the trailer because I wasn't going to nitpick it apart. Honestly, from a whole perspective, I'm oversaturated. I am in the era of Marvel pumping out 50 different things a year. I can't tell the difference between good or bad anymore because now this is all that we see. So I just don't care. But I'm glad this movie had good lighting and everything looked great. It took me a second for my eyes to adjust to the 3D, but that's because I wear glasses. So my eyes had to adjust to my glasses and the 3D glasses. So I'm not going to fault the movie for that. I do think that 3D was an interesting choice. I'm not sure why they wanted it to be 3D. Personally, in my opinion, 3D works best in action movies because of all the destruction and damage and rubble and superpowers. It fits better within a 3D context. That's why I think X-Men movies are great in 3D. There's just so much happening, so much being destroyed. Other movies that are less action driven, I don't really see the point of them being 3D. Like, what, I need to see the dress flapping in front of my face? It's cute, but it doesn't really make that much sense to me. So that's one thing I'll put it down for. But not like I hated it, just more like didn't really see the choice there. If you guys understand why it was in 3D, apart from just aesthetics, please do put it down below because I'd love to hear it. Okay. You know me, I don't usually go story beat by story beat. I just talk about everything that meant something to me and I leave it at that, or I go character by character. One thing, let's just talk about King Triton. I get it. In this movie, they decided to give his stoicness depth by putting in elements of the third movie, or I guess the prequel, where you get to see what happened to Ariel's mother, Arena, I think that was her name, or Ariana, or whatever, Princess Ariana, where you saw that she died because of like a boat or a human ship. I can't remember if it was on purpose or not, but in this version, it's on purpose. They killed her on purpose, apparently. And for some reason, that doesn't resonate with Ariel the way that it resonates with everybody else. So King Triton is like, no humans, no above world, stay down here, live down here. All we have to worry about is witches and sharks down here, and we can handle that. Don't go up there. And Ariel just seems to like not care that humans can be dangerous, because she's just curious, and it's this level of a thirst for knowledge that is almost infantile, because she doesn't really have much qualm for her own safety. However, I'll talk about that more when I get into Ariel. I did like that they made King Triton make a little bit more sense. Okay, he lost his wife. He lost the girl's mother. Of course, he's not going to want her to go up there and see the fishes. It validates his claims, and it also, I wouldn't say validate when he blew up her little treasure trove, but it makes you understand why he would get that extreme. Because he's probably just envisioning every time she goes out there, her like dying by human hand, and it just probably drives him crazy. So I can see why he would do that. So I appreciate that they tried to give certain characters a little bit more depth, a little bit more reason as to why they were doing things. It wasn't big. It wasn't like 16 minutes of trauma dumping for each character. No, it was just little things, a line here, a sentence there, just to show why these people were doing what they were doing. And so I really do appreciate that. I think it was interesting. All of his daughters. When he said who they were and where they were posted and why they were posted there, it sounded familiar, almost like I had heard it before. So that probably means it was in the original, but I didn't remember that. So apparently all of the daughters are now used as rulers of the 7 seas. So he rules over the entire thing, but he kind of like stays at the corporate office while they get posts in different seas, and they're named after different seas. And now that we can add a little diversity, they also look like the different seas that they're in. Indira looks Indian, Perla looks Latina, you know, all the sisters look how they look for that region that they are posted in. And I like that. It's a little detail, doesn't take long, no big exposition, just a little sentence, just so you can understand why there's a big meeting, why the sisters are not always there like they seem to be always there in the original. Because you wonder, right? Like, how is Ariel able to get away with all this? How is Triton not able to get away with all this if all the sisters are always there? You're telling me that there's no sister that like wants to be a daddy's girl so bad, and a teacher's pet to like check on Ariel and tell? Like, you know, if there's that many sisters, there's gotta be a hater. So it explains why Ariel got away with everything, and how she probably didn't have anything to ground her, because her sisters left to manage their own posts in their different seas and rule over different seas. They have bigger responsibilities, they're older, but it was interesting to hear them say that like they all went through a little phase. Apparently it was all about boys for them, you know, like when they would go through a phase of being a little rebellious is because they fell in love with somebody. So possibly some of them are married, have families of their own. We didn't get to see that. It's interesting. It's okay. Flounder was okay, nothing super remarkable. I understand that people wanted the deep fake version of these characters where they look like the original but slightly realistic. I get it, but I don't really mind. You know, it is what it is with this movie. I think that what made this movie very interesting was the way that they made everything make sense. I think that was what really made it interesting for me. There were a lot of little things that was added to this movie that I really did appreciate, you know, because it aided in me understanding all the characters a little better, or at least all the characters that mattered. Let's get into Sebastian. Because I think Flounder mattered a little less in this one than he did in the original. I'm not sure. Let me know if I'm wrong. Okay, so Sebastian is the same. I am Jamaican, so yes, David's impression of patois was a little annoying, but you got used to it. And at first I was like, why'd they pick somebody who's not Jamaican to play him? But I guess it's because they know he's good in musical theater, so they're like, look, just paste on the best Creole accent you got and do this under the sea, because that's what we want to see. And from that perspective, I get it, but like, come on. There's a lot of Jamaican artists out there. You could have just picked one of them to do Under the Sea. However, David Diggs doing Under the Sea was fine. I'm not going to complain about it, but as a Jamaican person, especially since there were other people with some of them having Jamaican accents on Prince Eric's Island, it's like they sound better than David. Like you can tell that David is. I'm gonna leave it alone. But yeah, let's get into Ursula. I'm leaving Ariel and Eric for last because they got the most here, and that's a good thing. So Ursula was the same, largely the same. There was a lot of lying down in her, the way that she portrayed herself, you know, like that scene where she's like pulling herself out of bed, spilling herself over. There was a lot of that, a lot of movement. They really wanted to rake in, she is an octopus, like they really wanted to rake that in. I was surprised by Melissa McCarthy. I was surprised. I didn't think she could pull it off this well. Like, she looks like Ursula, but I didn't think that she would be able to sound like her. She sounds like her a little bit, and I appreciate that. And her singing was not bad. When she hit that high note, I was like, this Melissa McCarthy. Guys, I had no idea that Melissa McCarthy could sing. Let me know in the comments. Put down a movie or something. Let me know. Wow. Like, it was really good. I appreciated her Poor Unfortunate Soul more than Under the Sea. Like, that's how decent it was. I liked it. Very good. Very, very good. You know, all she wants is to get back at King Triton. There was a few things I'm not sure about in this movie. And that is a little bit of the setting and the relationship between Ursula and Triton. She keeps calling herself the aunt. Now that could just be to break down Ariel's walls and make her more comfortable. But you could see that Ariel was uncomfortable with Ursula the whole time. It didn't really matter, which I appreciated. But you know, what is the backstory with that? Are they related? Maybe, maybe not. You know, I think it really is interesting though, that Disney, sometimes you're annoying me. When Ursula came out as the human version to steal Eric, that girl was a perfect cast. Like, actual perfection. Like, I'm actually shocked. I think her name is Jessica in real life. Jessica looks exactly like Ursula's human form. How'd you do that, Disney? Oh, I'll tell you how. If you just look far enough, you're gonna find exactly who you need to find. So with the whole Lilo debacle, Disney, nobody's falling for it. Now, I will say, what else did I like? I liked the underwater scenes. I liked the swimming. I liked the tails. Watching them swim was mesmerizing. Honestly, this whole thing made me want a mermaid show so bad. Like a live action mermaid show. They've cancelled Sirens last year. Death of Me forever. Like, I just really love shows about sirens and mermaids. Like, Disney, do something. You know what? No, not Disney. Somebody do something. Because I really miss seeing mermaids on my screen, seeing them go wild and free, seeing their hijinks, their adventures. It's one of my favorite forms of media. It just is what it is. I love watching stuff like that. But seeing all these beautiful mermaids just made me want mermaids so bad. Also, the experience of watching this in a theater is unmatched. Guys, sometimes we need to go to the theater. The commentary and people in the back, hilarious. It was also so nice to see so many kids there. It was so cute to see so many little girls there in the Jamaican theater, you know, enjoy the little movie. It was so great. So great. I loved it so much. I think I almost felt emotional just seeing all the little kids. That's where my emotions was coming from. Because, guys, the movie isn't just for the little kids, but it's important that the little kids see it. So for all of you who are saying this movie is for kids, not really. This movie is for kids and black women. If Disney is not your thing, however, you don't care, you don't have to watch. But it's also for black women. This was important. Seeing this was important. Seeing Ariel's one dark-skinned black sister look so good was important. Seeing Ariel be Halle was important. All of that was super important. Getting to see dark-skinned Indian representation in a mermaid show is important. No, this is not the first time it's been done. If you watch the show Sirens, the main character Ren had a sister that died pretty fast, who was dark skinned and beautiful. But, you know, it's still important to see it here. You know what I mean? So let's just get a little bit into the plot with Ariel. Ariel is like Indiana Jones. She just be scouring that little piece of ocean that she lives in with Triton, finding things like forks, getting them called Dinglehopper by Scuttle. Scuttle. So they changed Scuttle from like a seagull to like one of those type of fish that can swim. So that was fine. I think that's a change that kind of makes sense, you know, especially considering that Ariel going up to the surface is a specific thing that she does in this movie. So it means that like Ariel hasn't just been going up to the surface whenever she wants. She, for the most part, It's like there was a line that she didn't fully want to cross, and then she crossed the line. So how does she get to know Scuttle and get to know all these things? Okay, Scuttle can swim, and Scuttle be talking to her underwater every now and then. Good. That makes sense. These are little changes that help to make the story make sense, and so I appreciate it. It's just my personal opinion. Okay? Alright, so apparently Scuttle is actually a northern gannet. I don't know what type of bird that is, but that's what it's called. Alright, so she's a little ditzy. She's so preoccupied with her mission that she doesn't see other people. And what I do like about this is that she kind of gets the consequences of that a little bit. So, for example, when she misses the Coral Moon meeting that she was supposed to attend, she gets scolded by her father, and she doesn't see the point. But by the end of the movie, when Ursula, tricks her, gets rid of her dad and everything, she realizes that, like, yo, I've been super duper selfish. To the point where she doesn't even, like, help Eric back to shore after the battle. She just stays with her father and then just stays on Coral every now and then just to see the humans. Like, she really did learn her lesson to a certain extent. Like, she wasn't going to interfere again. She was just like, you know what? I'll just look at them from now on. That's it. I can't. It has to be about what my dad wants at this point, because obviously, it is what it is. I like that she learns a lesson. I like that they did really try to show that she really was just in this for the adventure, and the guy was just a plus. I know a lot of people love to argue about this. Oh, Ariel was just here for a guy. It doesn't matter. This is a Disney princess. Majority of them were saved by men or were male-centered. It doesn't matter. These movies are supposed to be comfort romance movies where you focus mostly on the romance and the chemistry. I will be honest. I wasn't focusing on this because I wanted to watch this movie because I knew Holly would sing well. I didn't really care about the story because I just did not really trust Disney to do the story justice. I was hoping at best that they would just copy and paste the original story. But the changes that they did make to this story helped. And it actually made me ship Ariel and Eric. I shipped them a little bit. Very good job. I am getting fed with the mixed romances. Okay? First Queen Charlotte, now Ariel. I'm getting fed. And I'm going to continue getting fed for the rest of this year. Let it play. But yeah. They gave their relationship more depth. Now, how did they do that? Normally, Eric is just this free-spirited guy, which some people don't really get, so it didn't translate properly. Some people think that the original Eric was just boring. Let me tell you, Eric was my favorite prince for a long time. Okay, so I don't really care that y'all thought he was boring. I thought he was gorgeous, and I was here for it. But they decided to give this prince a little bit more personality in terms of saying that Eric was adopted by the queen of a nearby Caribbean island after they found him on shipwreck. So he's not even really her biological son. So that gives him a fish out of water thing where he just wants to travel and be all around. He doesn't want to be confined to die like his father. It adds a level of depth. He's very much an explorer, an adventurer. He just wants to learn things and find out things. And he's known by the people. He'll go out to the town. He knows how to walk amongst the people. It humanized him and gave him some leadership qualities so that when he does become king, it's not, like, I'm sorry, Aladdin, this is what you should have done. Okay. Meaning the Aladdin live action, not the Aladdin cartoon. Calm it down. But I like that. I like that they gave him a little bit of depth. I like that they added in that when Ariel went to go see him, like when she went on land, she went to like this library room with all of his knickknacks, showing that he had a treasure trove just like she did. I liked showing all of their similarities because you know me, it's all about compatibility. This movie made them more compatible and I will always love it for that. This movie made their romance make sense. It makes everything that she does for him make sense. It makes everything that she does for her passions make sense as well. Because it wasn't just Eric, it was also her passions. So that scene in the room where he's just showing her all the maps and all of the items, when she breaks the coral to show him the jewels underneath, like when they're just showing each other things, she's showing him deeper things about the water without even talking. He's showing her deeper things about the land. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful, and I loved it so much. I love this movie. I knew that this movie had to get either an 8 or a 9 on the scale for me, because I realized more than halfway through that I could rewatch this. Like, if somebody wanted to take me to this movie again, I will go. And that means that it's good. It was giving me strong vibes of Brandy's Cinderella from 1997, which is my favorite Disney princess movie of all time. Impossible. So, I really love that. I really love that completely. And I was really excited for the parallels of that. Because in the Brandy Cinderella, they also made that relationship make a little bit more sense. They had some things in common. There was an instant attraction that made sense to the viewer. And so that made their relationship make more sense. And I like that they also did that with this one as well. So let's just get into a little bit of the plot. Since we talked about everybody's personality, we can talk about the plot, costume design and everything, and then I'll be done here. At first, I thought it was good that Ursula added in a clause to the spell to make her forget why she was out there. But I'm not too sure if it changes anything. I think it would have been hard for Ariel to get Eric to kiss her, whether she was aware of it or not. But good thing that I'm talking about it now, so I can hear myself and have another thought. I think one thing that it does do, just like I said before, with the chemistry that they have and the compatibility, it shows that she does actually like him. She's not just doing this so that she can walk. Because she doesn't remember that she has to get him to like her, everything that you're seeing is just who she actually is, except she can't talk. So what that spell did, even though it was just to make it easier for Ursula, it allowed us as the viewer to see who Ariel actually is when she gets even just a fraction of what she actually wanted. It shows that she actually is adventurous, that she actually does want to be amongst the people, and she actually does want to try new things and dance around and, be adventurous. It shows that she is actually like that. And it shows that Eric actually likes that, because he almost kissed her like 2-3 different times. So it shows that, hey, she's not just trying to kiss him so that she don't end up being tied to Ursula. They actually like each other. There's an actual foundation of an actual relationship here. That is great. Now, Vanessa comes into the picture, and I like how in this one, he's not really hypnotized. He's just confused. He's conflicted. He likes Ariel, but here is Vanessa, Ursula's human side. And obviously, Vanessa is the one who saved me, quotation mark. But I have feelings for this other girl. But I was so obsessed with Vanessa that I was planning to marry her. But I met Ariel, and we spent like 2 beautiful days together, and I can't stop thinking about this girl. And before Vanessa came, I think Eric was going to propose to Ariel, but then, Vanessa showed up. Like, you could see that he was thinking about it, and that he was running up, like he was about to go run up and tell Ariel. But Vanessa, aka Ursula, came up and did what they had to do, And I like that. I like that you could show the conflict. I like that it wasn't just that he was being controlled by her siren song and everything. I like that a lot. But of course, even though Vanessa is there, unlike in the original, like Eric in the original, well, let me not say the original, in the animated version, once Vanessa got a hold of Eric, there was no getting a hold of him again. Like, Ariel had to go and stop everything. Here, Eric had his faculties. He wanted to see Ariel still. He wanted Ariel to be there because he still wasn't sure. So when she came up to like fight Vanessa, he was like, oh my god, Ariel, hey. And then they brawled. It was hilarious. It was like, give me this necklace. Give me this. Oh my god. So yeah, of course, Don't get upset. It's a Disney movie, so even though they had a ample time to kiss and show they loved each other, they didn't. She turns back into a fish. But this is just so that we can have the giant fight. Okay, we have to have the giant fight, so she has to like not kiss. I'm only saying this because I'm in the theater with all these people who have seen the movie supposedly, and they're over here and be like, girl, if you don't kiss him, girl, if you don't go to the movies, guys. You get all sorts of funny commentary. But yeah, like, I like that. Everything was showing the progression of their relationship and their own personal personalities at the same time. It was paralleling, and they were both going in the same direction, and I love that. Now, in the end, right? You know, she gets her legs because her dad decides to give it to her free of charge. And in the end, while they are actually going on a voyage to go explore uncharted waters, which I love. I love that they're showing that they're both adventurers, that they're going to get married, be happy together, and go off on an adventure. I almost want a TV show, Disney. I almost want a TV show to see them Indiana Jonesing over on uncharted waters. Okay, I want it. Then we got to see the other mermaids finally, not just Triton and Ariel's sisters, but the other mermaids. We could see them up close and personal. There was a hilarious moment in the theater. Like, there was one girl behind me to my left who was complaining, like, you're really doing all this for this white man? You're really doing all this for it? And I was annoyed because I'm like, yes and no. She's doing this for herself, but who cares if she's also doing it because she likes this boy? Just like you've never done anything dumb for a boy before. Plus, it's a Disney movie. It is about the boy. Let's not act like Lady Danbury. You're not here just because a boy likes you. You're here for us. No. Ariel is here to do whatever she feel like. If you don't like that, write what you want to write, ma'am. But then when they were showing the other mermaids, she was like, oh. Now, if you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Right beside her sisters in one of the first scenes when they were showing, like, when they cut to the first show of the other mermaids other than King Triton, there's like this Asian mermaid with like this orange and magenta tail. Gorgeous. Oof, he looks so fine. He looked fine. For a second, even I forgot what movie I was watching. I was like, Ariel. Now, it's possible that he is from another region and he came with one of your sisters. It's possible he could be one of your sister's husband. If so, they chose well, because there is no way that merman lived in your ocean and you didn't say nothing. She could still want to chase the human world and everything. No problem with that. But you didn't see him? You didn't see him? That cute Asian merman. You didn't see him. There was some cute Asian mermen of all races, but the Asian merman, I remember that one. I was like, yep, good taste. It was just funny. Everything was great. Now let's just get into the costume design. I thought it was really cute. I liked it. I would have worn Ariel's outfit. I was waiting for them to give her a pink outfit, but they kind of saved that for the end. I don't know why. Disney, I'm upset about one thing though. Why? What happened to her sparkly dress? Like, how accurate did you want it to be? At the end of the movie, when King Triton gives her her legs, she gets a dress to go with it, and she walks up into the shore to see Prince Eric. I was waiting for that dress. Instead, she walks up to Prince Eric when she finds the rag of the dress that he left in the ocean. But where was the diamond dress? Disney? I don't like that. It's giving microaggression. I didn't like that at all. That actually kind of pissed me off close to the end. I was like, where is the diamond dress? That is as much of an iconic scene as the hair flip. And y'all made sure you did the hair flip. Where is the dress? Okay, I'll leave it alone. But that is why it didn't get a full 10 for me. I wanted that dress really badly and I did not get it. So it's down to a 9. This movie is a 9 or an 8. It's flip-flopping between those two, but it's still a high rating because I would rewatch it. I got chills, absolute chills, listening to Halle sing. For all of you who are saying that Part of Your World with Jodie Benson was better, relax. Jodie Benson was in this movie. It means that she completely co-signs it, which means that all of y'all saying all of this rah-rah need to stop. Jodie Benson is a grown woman. If she didn't co-sign it, she could say so. But she completely co-signed it to the point where she had a cameo in this movie. So leave it alone, please. I didn't get chills watching Jodie Benson sing Part of Your World. I'm gonna be honest, and I've seen this movie a lot of times. I barely even remembered any of the lyrics. But I listened to Halle sing this 1,000 times because I love the way she sings it and it gives me chills. Now, I'm not saying that she's better than Jodie, but they are two different types of singers. The way that Halle sings gives me a little bit more emotion than the way that Jodie sings. I'm sorry. I think that Halle was also able to convey what Jodie conveyed in terms of the longing and the desperation to explore and see what it's like to be human. Halle was giving me that with her voice. I don't know what the problem is with you guys. I'm sorry. So I saw this movie. I remember I told a lot of people, look, at least wait till the movie comes out before you complain. I've seen the movie and now I'm going to say something very controversial. If you're going to complain about this movie in a certain way, and you know what certain way that is, at this point you are just raw sealed. I'm telling you this right now. I'm sorry. Like I've said before, I understand sometimes when they gender bend or they race bend, it's an excuse for bad writing. Writers will just add in diversity or change a male lead to a female lead and then they'll barely care about the writing. That did not happen here. Yes, they changed the ethnicities of some of the people, including Triton. Triton's ethnicity got changed. But it didn't stop them. As a matter of fact, they upped the writing just a little bit. I'm not going to say it's completely different from the original, but it's different in little ways that separate it and make it good for itself. It put it on another pedestal, put it on another level. It's a good movie, and you got your own problems if you don't like it. You're going to have to look it within yourself, guys. Look, I get it. Sometimes these writers don't be writing well. Watch any video on my channel. I be complaining about that all the time. I'm not going to say that I just love when we're injected into everything. I don't care. I care about the writing. Okay? Sorry, I just had to say that because y'all just be hating so hard. Alright, I think over 30 minutes, not even at 40, is where I will stop here. But please let me know what you thought, what you think. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I will be showing pictures of the people them because I can't show video because number one, it hasn't come out, and number two, copyright is all over now. Like they are claiming everything. It's a wonder I got so much video footage in my Queen Charlotte video. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you think down below. I will be responding to everybody. And goodbye. Bye, sires. Sue.